one time throughout America, the name Maud Powell was literally a household word. From 1885 until her untimely death of heart failure at the age of 52, she was known as the premier violinist of her time and as a towering figure in the musical education of a young nation. Trained in Europe, but loving her country as much as her art, she visited every corner of the U.S. to concertize and bring culture. And she was what we would call today tech-savvy, recognizing the potential of that new invention, the phonograph, to reach and teach far beyond what any one artist could accomplish on her own. Maud was born in Peru, Illinois in 1867 and had the most generous upbringing that her musical mother and scholarly father, who served as the superintendent of East Aurora schools in the 1870s and 80s, could provide. Educated in Aurora and exposed to far horizons by her uncle, the explorer John Wesley Powell, Maud was an unspoiled child who advanced quickly as a violinist, learning to play the violin in Aurora and later taking the train by herself to Chicago for Saturday lessons. At the age of only 13, she departed for Europe, supported by much financial sacrifice on the part of her family. Europe was the only place an American prodigy could go for a first-rate violin education in 1881. When she returned to Aurora in 1885, she was already a powerful artist and embarked on a remarkable career playing the most demanding literature with the great orchestras of the time, the Theodore Thomas Orchestra, the New York Philharmonic, and all the major symphonies of the United States and the capitals of Europe. A true pace-setter in the musical world, she gave the American premiere of the Tchaikovsky and Sibelius violin concertos and played them into the repertoire. Not content with the orchestral repertoire alone, she founded the Maud Powell String Quartet, a startling thing for a woman of the times to do, especially given that the other members were men. And she tirelessly toured Europe with that consummate musician and showman, John Philip Sousa. It was while touring England that Maud met her future husband, H. Godfrey Turner, Sousa's manager for the British Isles. But Maud was perhaps best known and most loved for her dedication to educating the American people. No town was too small, no destination too far for her to visit. She wished to bring classical European music and the new European composers, such as Tchaikovsky and Dvorak, to the hinterlands. But her performances invariably included familiar American music. She was the first white instrumentalist to champion the American spiritual and works by composers of African descent. In this way, she appealed to every level of listener, while simultaneously elevating the status of our native culture. In 1904, she became the first instrumentalist to record for the Victor Red Seal label and made more than 100 acoustic recordings before her death. According to American violinist Rachel Barton Pine, she was so popular that people throughout America bought the recently invented phonograph just to hear Maud's music. In 2014, Maud received a Grammy Award for Lifetime Achievement, one of only 4 violinists ever to receive this prize. At that ceremony, the Beatles and the Isley Brothers were her co-recipients. It's not hard to imagine that Maud, the creative and engaging teacher of a nation, would have enjoyed the company. In the years since her death in 1920, Maud's name has faded from the popular scene. The rapid evolution of the recording industry and the fact that she taught no individual violinist who could have carried on her legacy contributed to this loss of memory. Until violinists and lovers of history Neva Garner Greenwood, Karen Schaefer, and Rachel Barton Pine co-created a renaissance of interest in this amazing American artist. Today we have the Maud Powell Society, founded by Karen Schaefer, and the dedicated work of Rachel Barton Pine to bring to life once again the majesty of Maud's artistry, and the inspiration of her devotion to American musical education. No American should ever have to look farther than these women and Maud Powell for the exhilaration of experiencing art in its highest form.